I'm extremely glad and nervous at the same time to talk to you guys about my ideas, right? I'm barely 30 years old. I'm not so sure if I can inspire you guys. What I can do is share a few stories, right? A few stories of my life from the common denominators that connect all of us, right? Our families, our successes, our failures, and see if there's anything inspirational that you can draw out of it. Because inspiration is a fairly heavy word, okay? So, as the host rightly said, I'm an HR manager by the day and a stand-up comedian by the night. HR management is my profession. I want to believe that stand-up comedy is also my profession. Very few people would actually take stand-up comedy as a profession or believe that it's a profession till the time they saw the American elections. When we realized that the president of a certain country or the world's largest democracy can actually be a stand-up comedian. No, seriously. I'm not going to advocate you guys to be on Tinder, but in case you are on Tinder, President Trump is available. And he'll right swipe anything remotely female. But that's not what I want to speak to you guys about, right? As Jyotika rightly said, I need to speak to you guys about why I feel everything's a joke, okay? And I say everything's a joke because hindsight is a beautiful lens to look at things that have occurred in your life. And when I look back at all the tragedies, at all the issues that I see in my life, right? I see that there's a great connect of humor there. I'll share a few stories with you guys, right? So yes, I was fairly nervous, as I mentioned, to be a TEDx speaker, and therefore I decided to look at some inspirational TED Talks, right? So I Googled and I thought Shah Rukh Khan had delivered a brilliant talk recently, right? And one of the key notes there was, he said he's a peddler of dreams. So I wanted to listen to that talk. I went to Google and I typed peddler of, and the computer just hung. 30 minutes later, I got 36 emails in my inbox from students in Punjab saying, are you a peddler? It's weird. That wasn't the greatest of starts for my preparation for this TEDx talk. But yes, I've managed to be here. And one of the most interesting things of entering Haryana was realizing that my phone conked off. Yes? Siri. How many of you guys use Apple phones here? Great, it's a rich bunch of people. Siri stopped speaking, so I called up Apple, right? And I said, sir, Siri is not speaking. They asked me, what place is this? I said, Haryana. They said, is Siri in the female voice or the male voice? I said, female voice. I asked, is this a technical glitch? They said, no, sir, this is a cultural glitch. Terrible, man. But yes, I am from the Northeast. I am from Shillong. This really, really pristine, beautiful place. And a lot of the stories that I share with you guys today come from that place. Yeah. My first piece that I want to address is how I realized that gender stereotypes are a myth through a really funny incident that took place in my life. My dad's in the police, okay, and I'll build that context a little later. But this is a little story, okay. Shillong is a beautiful place, and I have evidence to believe that because my mom and dad decided to have 3 children. So naturally, this place has got to have something romantic about it. I like the coy laughter there. Everybody's got the joke, but they are fairly shy to understand or express it out. But yes, so we were sitting in our little quarter. My dad's in the police, as I mentioned. And it's a beautiful place, okay? Beautiful pine trees are all around. The only problem in that place is that it is infested by bats. Yeah? And the fear of bats is called cherotophobia. And I'm a big, big patient of cherotophobia. So we're sitting in our room, right, on a cold wintry night, and a bat enters the house. The 3 children naturally would get trepidated and scared, right? And I looked up to my dad, hoping that he is going to be the protector because he's in the police, right? He's going to protect us from the bats. But I couldn't find my dad because he was the first one to run to the other room. And now I had a choice, okay, as a son of my mother, to either defend my mother against this bat or make this really cowardly decision to run out of that room. I'm a brave son, but also a practical one. So I ran to the other room along with my sister and my brother. And we left our mother in that one room. 30 minutes later, my mother emerged from that room, like Khaleesi from the Game of Thrones, with a bat in her hand. And I looked up at my dad and I said, you are the police, you are supposed to be the protector of the realms, right? I just realized gender stereotype is such a myth, right? If only society had not stopped women outside, right, from expressing their capability, by putting in those obstacles, I realized there'll be far more Khaleesi's than we have in our modern society. You guys agree with that? Yes? I can't be rude to my dad, as I said. Dad's in the police, right? The other piece is we often associate a lot of stereotypes also with the kind of roles that we play, right? My dad was posted on this beautiful border town of Borsora on the Indo-Bangladesh border. Now, when you go to that place, you'll realize that you have Bangladesh telephone network connections on your phone. So it's just not illegal migration of people, it's also illegal migration of the network there. So my dad once was sitting at a nice food joint and was having food, and he saw a scuffle of two people, and he intervened. Little did he realize that he would actually realize that a punch landed on his face. Yeah? And as a policeman, he had to take authority, right? So he decided to take the two of them and put them in the lockup for the evening. Next day, my dad was all over the papers. Apparently, he had nabbed one of the most wanted militants of that area. I was proud, my dad was scared. And my mother was rational. So my dad came home, my mom gave him the best piece of her mind, right? I thought that was an act of bravery. I was extremely proud of my dad. They said that they're going to reward my dad with some handsome compensation. After 3.5 months, my dad got some money. That time you did not have Paytms and you didn't have account-to-account transfers. My dad got 52 rupees to nab a militant and put the lives of 5 people at risk. My dad and mom never speak about that incident. Strangely, I'm recording that in a TEDx video today. My career also has been a lot about these little changes, right? I started as a journalist, I am an HR manager and an aspiring comedian today. I must confess to you guys, okay, that not one profession has made me feel happy yet. And yet all professions in totality make me happy. If you believe that one profession, okay, is going to make you feel happy and satisfied, then either you're underestimating your ambitions or you're overestimating the ability of that job to make you happy. Yeah. I started as a journalist, I made some brilliant mistakes in my life. And only now in hindsight can I look back at them and realize that everything there brings a certain level of humor, right? I was a sub-editor at the Indian Express. This incident didn't take place at the Indian Express. Let me just put that disclaimer out. Chandigarh is a beautiful place, right? One of the finance ministers of that state, it's a union territory. One of the finance ministers had once said that no ads need to be put in public places. I was a young rookie editor on the desk. And I put up this beautiful headline which says, "No ads in public places," says Chandigarh Finance Minister. It is a beautiful headline, communicated a lot, except the word public went without the L. I thought I'd lose my job. Next day, the PA of that minister responded saying, "Who puts ads on those places?" I thought that was the end of my career, and I thought that's the worst mistake I could ever make. Give me 3 months. 3 months down the line, there was a simple innocuous headline which says, "Police busts a gang of thieves." I hate autocorrect and I have no idea why did autocorrect gang, the last G turned into D. These are real incidents. I know you guys find it funny, but my job was on the line. The last of the lot, okay, of my extremely meritorious journalistic career was a cricket match in which India beat England. I put a lovely headline which said, "India thumps England." Unfortunately, autocorrect did not read the T. They call it the Sepoy Mutiny of 2008, which is scary. The point I'm trying to convey to you guys is you guys will make mistakes, okay? And you'll realize the humor of it and the joke element of it only in hindsight. So don't get too nervous about making mistakes, right, in life. I'm not the only one making mistakes here, right? My mom back in Shillong was diagnosed with this illness called tuberculosis, okay? And the doctor started treating her. 5 years down the line, they said that she's got multi-drug resistant tuberculosis, which is tuberculosis that can't be cured with drugs. So she stopped eating the medicines because they were not helping her. Now she's moved with me to Bombay. Recently she was unwell. We did a full body checkup. The doctors in Bombay said she never had tuberculosis. Don't feel too bad about it. My mom seemed extremely thrilled. Now that's a mistake that the doctor made. In hindsight, I'm sure he tried, but some elements and some professions aren't the ones where you can try. Now my mom is being treated for the side complications of the illness. She's got these small little glands in her body. Recently, she did a scan of her body. An entire X-ray was glittering, right? Pretty much like the NASA picture of India during Diwali. Except that the NASA picture is fake and this one's real. And now my mom suddenly believes she's got this mentality that main marne wali hu. And this is the mentality she's been having for the last 5 years, right? I see a lot of fun and humor in it. Because there's a doctor who comes up and says, "Madam, you're cured, today is your discharge." She's like, "Doctor saab, main marne wali hu." She can't change the script for some reason. But I think she'll be able to, now, when she looks back to the last 5 years, she realizes that humor alone, okay, is helping her tide over some of these issues that she talks about. I stand here amidst you guys, not so sure about what my role really is. Is my role really to make you guys laugh here? Or is my role here to share some of the stories of my own life and see how much of that brings in that element of humor? I've shared a few stories from my own personal life. I also mentioned to you guys that I am not so sure about whether any career, okay, is going to satisfy me at the moment. I am an aspiring stand-up comedian, as I mentioned. And I'm sure you young bright minds have brilliant careers ahead of you guys. Remember what I said at the very start of this talk, that hindsight is a beautiful lens to reflect on, okay? It's only in hindsight that you can sit back and enjoy some of the experiences you guys have shared, okay? Some of the mistakes you guys have made. Don't make those mistakes, okay? Don't be like, I need to make these mistakes today, otherwise where will humor come from 5 years later? Don't do that, right? But the bottom line is, ensure that you guys make your mistakes, but know that none of those mistakes are catastrophic enough. There is a joke, a running joke at every point in time. And if you address that, I think you guys are going to be in safe, good hands. Yeah. I'll leave you guys with this last one thought of mine, right? That there'll be points in your life where you'll feel that not everything that you do is running in parallel with your dreams. Switch the gear a little, right? And look back at all that you've done, mistakes, successes, failures, etc. And if you can look back at your failures with a sense of enjoyment, I think the successes will give you far more greater happiness. The one last piece I obviously want to leave you guys with is the fact that I see this beautiful split of men and women here. And I'm just so very happy because that's an issue that's very, very close to my heart. I've always believed that men and women run the 100-meter race, except that men run the 100-meter sprint while women run the 100-meter hurdles. And for the women out there, I want you guys to know that in terms of capability, there is no debate. You guys are right up there. Society just believes that you are far more capable than men, which is why we want to make every little challenge a roadie challenge for you guys. Yeah? But I have faith that you guys will emerge from all these challenges. Yeah? So that's a little bit about me, a little bit about what I wanted to share. Thank you so much for being a very, very patient audience. I had a brilliant time speaking to you guys. My name is Abhineet Mishra.